Good morning, Doc.
Okay, good morning everyone. So our subject matter focus on project management. No, it happens before that is in curriculum is product management, but when I came in as the dean, no, I replaced it into project management, which is too necessary for the BSIT program. Now, the project management, of course, you must at least understand the system analysis and design, of course, even the software engineering and the application of all your IT subjects from first year up to fourth year. That's why, as you can see, the project management is open or offered every fourth year, second sem. Okay, so the this course actually provides a systematic thorough introduction to all aspect of project management. Okay, projects are an increasingly important aspect of business. Therefore, the course underlines the importance of understanding the relationship between projects and the strategic goals of the organization. It also discusses technical, of course, more on technical in IT, cultural, and interpersonal skills necessary to successfully manage projects from start to finish, because most commonly we encountered issues, no, or concerns with our group mates, or sometimes we encountered problem with the stakeholders, especially in your in developing your project, no, in capstone project. There are certain cases that you could encounter with your target clients, no, right, like, okay. So it emphasizes the project management is a professional discipline with its own tools, body of knowledge and skills. Concepts are reinforced by case studies. So therefore, every meeting you are required to submit a case study related to the topic or to the discussion, covering a wide variety of project types and industries. On our course outline, okay, in our course outline, so during week one, of course, today, I just simply introduce the content of the project management for the entire semester. Okay, and also discuss about the introduction to project management, cover the what is project, okay, what is project management, program and portfolio, or project portfolio management, the rule of the project management, and the project management profession. What I wanted to share today actually is about on how we'll be able to understand the growing need for better project management, especially for information technology projects, and the role of the project manager by describing what project managers do, what skills they need, and what the career field is like for information technology project managers. Because sometimes, as an IT practitioner, we are very good in technical, but sometimes it's too hard for us to communicate or even the interpersonal skills, which is necessary for us to develop and to understand. Of course, we want also to explain the explain what project is, then provide example of IT projects, no? List various attributes, no, of projects, and describe the triple constraint of projects. Discuss the relationship, of course, between project programs and portfolio management, and the contribution they each make to enterprise success, and describe project management and discuss key elements of project management framework, including project stakeholders, no, the project management knowledge areas, common tools and techniques, and project success, and the project management profession, including history, the rule of professional organization like the PMI, PSITE, no, PCS, CSP, and importance of certification in ethics and the advance of project management software. That this will be the coverage of chapter 1. Now, for chapter 2, so in chapter 2, we want to describe the systems review of the project management and how it applies to IT projects and understand organizations, including the 4 frames, organizational structures, and organizational culture. We can explain why stakeholders management and top management commitment are critical for a project success and understand the concept of a project phase and the project life cycle and distinguish, no, between project development and product development. Because, for example, you already started developing a project in a specific company. Then right after, for example, during the testing period, they decided to stop the project. So it is very important to us to explain, no, why stakeholder management and top management commitment are critical for a project success. So for example, they really want to have a good project, no, specifically system or software, no. Then but they are encountered problem with money or with costs. So that is also another thing that we need to consider in developing a project. Identifying and validating basic protection measures, like of course the antivirus, no, the firewall for combating viruses and other forms of attack on computers and or similar electronic devices, and discuss the unique attributes, no, and the diverse nature of information technology projects. In chapter 3, we're going to discuss describe the 5 project management process groups and typical level of activity for each and the interaction among them. We understand how the project management process groups relate to the project management knowledge areas and discuss how organizations develop ITPM methodologies to meet their needs. And review a case study of an organization applying the project management process to IT project and understand the contribution that effective project, of course, the project initiation, project planning, project execution, monitoring, controlling, and of course, program closing or the project closing make the project success. For week 4, we explain the strategic planning process and apply different project selection process, the importance of creating project charter to I will accept your classmate, no? Okay, and to formally initiate projects execution, its relationship to project planning, the factors related to successful results, and tools and techniques to assess the in project execution, in the importance of developing and following good procedures for closing projects, and describe the overall framework of a project integration management as it relates, no, to the other project management knowledge areas and the project life cycle. The process of creating a preliminary project scope statement, which is too important for us to define the scope. The process of monitoring and controlling project work and on how the software can assist in project integration management. Because there are certain cases. For example, you were assigned to develop a software for World City Colleges. Then they are requested for you to develop first the registrar, no, the registrars for registrar intended for registrars department. So therefore, your main focus is all on register processes. No? Then right after, they were asked you to develop in the accounting office, no, accounting software. Then right after that, you are going to integrate all those projects into one. So that is project integration. Then for week number 5, understand the elements that make good project scope management, important in the importance of scope control, and approaches for preventing scope-related problems on ITP. Of course, most commonly, no, we encountered problem with that when it comes to scope, because during the development, no, in stage 1, no, we are required to identify the scope of our software or our system proposal. So during during the no identifying during the identification of your given scope in a specific project, sometimes we missed some important features, no. So it is too important for us to define it well, no, or completely as much as possible. Then for week 6, of course, is our prelim exam, right? Then week 7 and 8, focus on project time management, the importance of project schedules, activity definition, sequencing, of course, and resource estimating. Activity duration estimating, schedule development and control, using a software to assist in project time management. Okay. So for that is week 7 and 8. Most focus on how we'll be able to do a Gantt chart, to follow the Gantt chart. We created a Gantt chart. We define, or we stated there the start and finish of our task for this specific module. But how we'll be able to monitor that Gantt chart? It's also important. We need also to explain how the various tools and techniques help project manager perform actively duration estimating, which is too important. Okay. And of course, for week 9 and 10, focus on project cost management. So it discussed the importance of project cost management. No? Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's too hard for us to budget, because there are certain cases that we budgeted, for example, 1,000 for interview, because getting your IT expert for your development, sometimes you need to meet them, no, in a restaurant, no, for the interview or for answering the questionnaire, or even during the software testing, no, and so on. Then basic principle of cost management is important. Cost estimating, budgeting, and control must be considered. And of course, if you could able to use what you call this one, software, no, also to assist for project cost management, it's better, because there are certain available software for project costing. Then for week 11, we may focus for quality, no, project quality management. So you need to identify the importance of PQM, or the project quality management. What is the project management or project quality management in terms of planning, no, assurance, and control? Because sometimes, especially in groupings, it's important for us to look for a group mate with diverse, no, knowledge. Specifically, there is somebody who are good in database, for example. There are somebody who are good in documentation, and at the same time good in analysis. It's very important in a group members. The tools and techniques for quality control: modern quality management, improving IT project quality, and using software to assist in project quality management. For week 13, this will be for project human resource management. Okay. So what will be the importance of the human resource management? Again, getting a group member is too hard, no? Especially in a college level, no? Unlike in a big company, no, in IT firm, no, as project manager, you are allowed to get, no, a person who are, no, who are knowledgeable enough or who has an expertise with the field. Now, for example, expert in database, expert in security, expert in analysis, no, in a big project, specifically in an IT firm. But in college, no, during doing your capstone project, no, sometimes your classmates are more knowledgeable and technical, but they don't know how to make a documentation. No, majority of your classmates are very good in database, for example, but no one has good in algorithm or even in hardware or technical applications, no, and so on. It's too hard. That's why human resource management is too important also in identifying your co-members or group, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, and managing the project team. For week 14, this will be another problem, no? The project communication management. Sometimes we want to say these things or these ideas, but maybe somebody analyze your ideas into some other way. So therefore, it is important for us to discuss the project communication management. The information distribution is important. Performance reporting is very important. That's why in your capstone project, better for you to develop a reporting every week, no? Even with your on-the-job training, right? Then managing stakeholders is also important in communication. How you'll be able to deal with the stakeholders or your client or the participants of your proposal with the IT experts. For example, if your proposal is dealing with some psychological study, so therefore you need to deal with psychologists. But if your proposal is related, for example, in a medical, so you need to know on how you'll be able to deal with the doctors, no, medical doctors, and so on. Suggestion for improving project communication and using software to assist in project communication. For week 15, this will be the project risk management, no? Risk management also must be planned, no? Because sometimes, for example, during your project presentation or your software presentation, you may encounter problem, for example, with one of your devices. So what you're going to do, you have a project risk management. Okay? You need to identify risk, no? Risk identification is important. The qualitative and quantitative risk analysis, the risk response planning, and risk monitoring and control. For week 16, it is focused on project procurement management. Okay. I don't want to, I just give you some example. One of the students, no, in a university, no, encountered problem during their defense, in a sense that they were not able to develop or they were not able to develop the modules, no, stated in their scope. So the panels are requesting to comply all those requirements. So the group decided to pay, no, to pay, I think to pay thousands, no, for a project. Then after that, the developers, no, the contact person doesn't able to deliver, no, the required software. So it is very important for us to identify on how we'll be able to get to survive, no, with that situation, but not I think that decision is risky, but again it fails, no. It's so sad, no. So therefore, uh requesting seller responses, selecting resellers, no, administrating the contract is very important, guys. You know, if they have a contract, no, or if they have a contract with the developers, so they don't have any problem. But it's just only a chat no, a text, and so on. You don't have a signing contract for that for the developer. Then how you'll be able to close the contract. Then for week 17, we consider the global project management. Okay? So we need to define a global project. How about if our projects is applicable for the entire world, no? Framework of good practices for global project management, the global communication, the global organizations, and collaborative tools and techniques. And that this will be the coverage of our uh, project management. Okay. Of course, all students are strongly encouraged to ask questions during class session. Students can also present their ideas on topic regardless of whether they are consistent with those of the instructor or author of the textbook they are using. Students are not free talk to or whisper individual during class session. So therefore, if you have some questions, post your question to our chat box. So same grading system, of course. We have our presentation, no? We have individual presentation. I am the one who assigned for chapter 1, then the rest is assigned to you. We have, I think, quizzes every chapter, no? So for example, if we discuss chapter 1 next during your asynchronous, we have a quiz. And every topic you are required to submit a case study related to the topics. Then, of course, class standing cover the recitation. For example, during the discussion of your even I or your classmate, maybe there are some questions, no, through, and you are allowed to answer those questions or queries. And we have an oral report, no, because you are required to present a topics. Then our references, of course, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, no, by the Project Management Institute Incorporated. And some information technology project management by Cengage Learning, no, and so on. So I think that this will be the coverage of your project management 1.